So, of course, Jeffrey Epstein, we all know, has a string, and I do mean a string of shit that he is tied to, right? And we know he's put it like this. He's got a string of celebrities, a string of political figures and people of like that he's tied to, right? So I just started just googling different names and different people that he might be tied to, of course, and he wouldn't be directly tied to BlackRock, but he has some people that are within the web that are tied to BlackRock. So, perfect example, right? This article right here, perfect example. It says billionaire Leon Black made a $158 million payment to Jeffrey Epstein, and senators wanted to know why. Of course, this was back in July 25th, 2023. Says the Senate Finance Committee is looking into whether billionaire investor Leon Black's $158 million payment to disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein was part of a greater strategy to avoid paying over $1 billion in a federal gift in estate taxes. Wondering where that gift came from. So, Black, the co founder and former CEO of Apollo Global Management, paid Epstein in several installments between 2012 and 2017. According to findings from an ongoing investigation led by Senator Ron Wyden, the Oregon Democrat who heads the Senate Finance Committee. So, remember this name here, the Apollo Global Management, right? When I go over here, look who owns part of that. BlackRock in April, not too long before that, not too long before that article, I should say. BlackRock now owns 4.80% of Apollo Global Management. It says Fintel reports that BlackRock has filed a 13 GA form with the SEC disclosing ownership of 27.53 what does it say? shares of Apollo Global Management Inc. This represents 4.8% of the company, not 4.80%. So it was 4.8. Okay, so again, BlackRock owns part of the company that was funding Mr. Black there, right? Mr. Leon Black, that was funding Jeffrey Epstein. So follow down this pipeline, okay? BlackRock. We'll see who else BlackRock got ownership with. Matter of fact, cut that out right there. Look who else BlackRock got ownership with. And this is why, like I said, I just started Googling different shit just to see who else BlackRock has some ties to now that I know that they got some ties to a pedophile. So, look at this. Fanatics hits $27 billion valuation as BlackRock. Michael Dell as investors. This was in 2022. So this is about a year beforehand, right? So remember, this is before Jeffrey Epstein, of course, and everything started happening. Of course, everybody started catching wind, I should say. This is before everybody started catching wind of what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein. So 2022. Fanatics hits $27 billion. Look whose picture it is. Mr. All-White Party host himself. You can't hear Blue Moose? You can't hear anything? Can you hear me? Okay. I had to make sure. I had to just do some adjustments real quick. I had to make sure. Just had to make sure. Just had to make sure. But yeah. So, you see whose picture it is? Mr. Michael Rubin here. Mr. All-White Party himself. has some investments with Well, should I say BlackRock has investments with him. Now, why is this very much important? BlackRock owns majority of the world, it would seem. That is what I keep seeing here. Now, I noticed another poll I started seeing on Twitter after I had caught this was, is Michael Rubin the new Diddy Jeffrey Epstein with all white parties he throws? 83% here. So I'm not going to be surprised if I start to hear cases, assault cases, or if I start to hear allegations of that nature. If I start to hear any of those things with his name attached to it, I'm not gonna be surprised. Michael Rubin gives me Jeffrey Epstein vibes. I can't explain it, but just know I'm calling it now. This is someone back a couple of months ago. Like I said, people are getting that vibe from him already. So, once again, let's go back to BlackRock. There's another BlackRock investee, or should I say, person that has ties with BlackRock. Stephen Deckoff buys Jeffrey Epstein's private islands. This one, he's with Black Diamond Capital. Actually, he's with Black Diamond Capital. He just bought Jeffrey Epstein's private island to where everything was going down at. Like I said, all these guys hang together. All of these guys hang together. That's the biggest thing. Even Jeff Bezos up there. All these guys hang together. That's the biggest thing that you have to think about here in regards to BlackRock. Now, while we're on the subject, I found a couple of things in regards to BlackRock. One of them mainly being their next plans. Now, we have broke down Project Bluebeam. We've broken down what's going to happen in Project Bluebeam. We've talked about Project 2025. We've even talked about how if Trump was to lose, there'd be a possible purge. We talked about all of those things, right? Mainly World War III. Civil War, of course, with us, but then World War III. So, who is the main investor of all this shit? See, that's the thing. Just like even in the mob movies, even in the mobster movies, right? In any movie, I should say, or should I say in any situation, you have to follow the money. You have to follow the money. That's why we're talking about BlackRock tonight. I know BlackRock is, like I said, a very, very vague name to some people out there right now, but it is a very important name that you should know about. It's not, of course, it's not Diddy. Of course, it's not even Ashton Kutcher. It's not, your Jamie Foxx. It's not your Jay-Z. But BlackRock is someone that owns majority of these people and the entities that they control, that they are controlled within. So it is important that we know who BlackRock is. Like I said, when I saw that stick out to me in that ad, and it was about the Trump shooter, and he was just randomly in their ad. Of course they have to take something like that down, because now they understand how now their pipeline gets opened up and people want to know who the fuck they are. So, this is BlackRock's plans.
They have essentially said that this is the only way, this will be the only way to prove you have legal identity. And so if you don't participate in that system, as far as the state or the private sector is concerned, you don't exist. So by not participating in that system, you're inherently excluded from the economic system and really essentially everything. It's going to be a problem, reaction, solution type of situation.
So what she's talking about right here, and we started to discuss the Neuralink before. I'm going to get into Neuralink on the next one, actually. Neuralink is what Elon Musk is basically ahead of. So Neuralink, if you guys aren't aware what that is, it's basically going to be this microchip that they're going to pretty much put inside of people. Now, some people actually have a form of Neuralink in them, mainly seniors. Mainly seniors have it in them because they can't remember their insurance shit. So what they actually do is they just scan their finger or scan the back of their neck and say, hey, okay, this is such and such John Doe. He's good. Just put him through the dough. Because those seniors, of course, there might be one with dementia, can't remember shit. So scan them. Hey, we know who you are. You don't got to remember shit. We got you. They're trying to implement that type of thing within the American currency and just overall keeping data on people. So that's necessary. That's mainly what Neuralink is even going to be. And again, a huge investor in Neuralink for Tesla is BlackRock. Again, they're trying to implement the mark of the beast. Once Neuralink starts to become a popular thing among people as far as wanting to get microchipped, it's going to be a trend, if you will, to get that mark of the beast on you.
Situation where they've already made the solution, they've already developed what they want to be the new financial governance system after this new Bretton Woods moment. They just need some sort of big event on the scale of World War II or some large event that's equally disruptive in order to be like, all right, now it's time for a new financial governance system.
About a year ago, while speaking at the Global Finance Summit in Paris, French President Emmanuel Macron said the world needs a public financial shock to fight global warming. Around the same time, World Economic Forum founder and executive chairman Klaus Schwab also made a similar statement about revamping the global economy. In his words, every country from the United States to China must participate, and every industry from oil and gas to tech must be transformed. We need a great reset of capitalism, Schwab added in an article published on the non-governmental organization's website. According to popular investigative journalist Whitney Webb, what we are witnessing is the birth of a new international monetary system, a replacement for the current Bretton Woods system built solely on the blockchain to aid the complete surveillance and censorship of every aspect of our lives. Whitney's warnings are based on the words of several global elites and WEF puppets like Macron, as well as the words of Mark Carney, former governor of the Bank of England and Bank of Canada, and the UN Special Envoy for Climate Action and Finance, who said the three pillars of the New World Order are digital IDs, CBDCs, and ESG. In a recent discussion with Mark Goodwin, writer and editor-in-chief at Bitcoin Magazine, Whitney warns that all world governments are pushing this New World Order agenda, proudly sponsored by the ultra-rich and powerful, including Silicon Valley executives like Larry Fink, who wants to tokenize all existing assets and commodities, as well as the natural world. Whitney warns that from forests to rivers, mountains, and lakes, everything will soon become a commodity, owned and traded by the super rich and powerful to make them even stronger and move them closer to their goal of completely dominating the rest of us.
So, pretty much in a nutshell, right? We all know about the American currency becoming complete shit, right? We already know that's being demonetized damn near to nothing. The American dollar, pretty much as we know it, doesn't mean shit anymore, right? So what they're trying to do now is convert things to, of course, cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency pretty much took off way before they expected it to. So, of course, they're trying to now put like executive orders on it like they did last year. But also, with that, what they do expect is people to, of course, buy into the trend of it, right? So with them buying into the trend of it, makes it easier for them to implement the new way of actually having the cryptocurrency, which is, of course, like I said, the Neuralink. Now, one thing I want to let me not even say Neuralink anymore, because I did find this too. It's not necessarily Neuralink. One of the investors at BlackRock actually is rivaling Elon Musk. So look at this right here. So what is BlackRock Neurotech? It's the rival to Elon Musk's Neuralink. So Peter Thiel is backing a rival to Elon Musk's Neuralink. Excuse me. So the early read right here. See, we don't have to go into the whole article, but the early Facebook investor has backed the firm called BlackRock Neurotech in a $10 million financing round. Okay, so look, crypto company Tether invests $200 million in the brain chip. Look what we don't even got to read the whole article. It just says it right there. Crypto company Tether invests $200 million in brain chip. It literally says brain chip. So while everybody is thinking that this is just going to be some regular microchip you can put in your pocket, literally says, "What's good, King?" It literally says brain chip. They're investing a $200 million fund into a microchip that is going to be inserted in the back of your neck that controls your entire fucking body through your brain. I hope y'all listening to that part. Matter of fact, just so y'all could, we'll go into the article. We'll go into the article real quick from Reuters. So, crypto company Tether invests $200 million in brain chip maker BlackRock Neurotech. That's basically what this lady is talking about. Okay? Crypto company Tether has invested $200 million in BlackRock Neurotech, taking a majority stake in the U.S. brain implant company. Tether said in a statement on Monday, BlackRock Neurotech makes a brain-to-computer interfaces, including neural implants, which can allow people to control computers and prosthetic arms without moving. Its website says it has no relation to the asset manager BlackRock. Oh, it says it has no asset, but you literally says BlackRock Neurotech, all right? The deal, which closed on Friday after several months of due diligence, values BlackRock Neurotech at around $350 million, making Tether its largest shareholder. Tether CEO Paolo Ordino told Reuters. Again, the shit you gotta listen to, shit you gotta look out for when it comes to when you hear that name BlackRock, my G. When you hear that name BlackRock, pay attention and follow the money. Pay attention and follow the money. You literally just heard an article where they are talking about BlackRock Neurotech, and they are rivaling the Neuralink with Elon Musk in making a brain implant chip.
In the conversation with Goodwin, Whitney discusses two important parts of the New World Order plans: digital IDs and natural world tokenization, warning that Schwab, Fink, and useful puppets like Macron are on the verge of achieving their grand plans, and how disastrous that would be for us all. As we bring you clips from the video, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
In this context, I think the digital ID is a key enabler of the surveillance, knowing what everyone is doing at the transactional level and being able to tweak that micromanagement based on a person's activity, because the digital ID isn't just limited to the financial system, right? It's like your travel, your health history, your career history, your education credentials, your access to telecommunications, social media, the internet. You know, with the new AI era, right, they can fuse all that data, analyze it, you know, and depending on how they develop that AI algorithm, use it to control people really in unprecedented ways. I think the digital ID and the CBDC and its private sector equivalence project is something that we're always sort of intended to be the same system. So there's documents from the UN, from the BIS, and related groups that are sort of that have been working on this for years, that essentially frame one as essential to the other, using words about, you know, this is inclusionary, sort of, you know, the whole, I guess, marketing behind digital ID is that everyone needs a legal ID because otherwise they're unable to access essential services, right? And so the idea is we all have to be included in the system, and they directly link that to the concept of financial inclusion and banking the unbanked, which you brought up earlier. But inherently, these systems actually function in an exclusionary way, based on how they've been set up. You know, they have essentially said that this is the only way, this will be the only way to prove you of legal identity. And so if you don't participate in that system, as far as the state or the, you know, the private sector is concerned, you don't exist.
Imagine that, right? Imagine you're trying to just simply walk into, say you're just trying to walk into Nike, right? And when you walk through Nike, when you walk through the door, the alarm goes off because your chip isn't working or your chip is malfunctioning. They can't register who you are. Think about that, right? Imagine you can't walk into your regular bank because your chip isn't working on the back of your neck. You ain't washed too good back there. Imagine that, right? Imagine you walking into. Imagine you trying to just go purchase a car, and all of a sudden your chip don't work right, and they can't identify you. Oh, we're sorry, sir. We don't know who you are. We can't scan this right now. What do you mean you can't scan me? Imagine in a world where we're fucked up because they can't scan you, the person. They can't scan you and figure out who the hell you are. Imagine we living in a world like that. You just trying to go to the damn store, and as soon as instead of you just walking to go get a bag of chips or something like that, that should go off, nigga. And all of a sudden, hey, you seeing a bunch of dudes with shades and suits. Unhand me. And now you in a pickle because the government just doesn't know who you are that walk through the store. They have you as a regular John Doe just walking through the store now. Or should I say not outside of the store, I should say. But that's where this is headed, basically. That's what she's saying. Is that they're going to pretty much chip us and have our data. Same thing with our emails and our social security. That is going to be our new social security. And finding out who we are. Our new social security is going to be inside an electronic microchip.
So by not participating in that system, you're inherently excluded from the economic system and really essentially everything. So you have to onboard to the surveillance state or be excluded from everything. So it's, being marketed as inclusion, but it's really inherently exclusionary.
How does this...
That too. I almost forgot. Man, you just trying to purchase something and you can't because they can't scan you. Like, you done made it into the damn store. Now you trying to buy something and they can't even scan your ass. Or even worse, your shit you got plenty of money in your damn account, but they just can't figure out who the fuck you are. They can't scan it. Everything's just gonna be by digital. You can't even pull a dollar out your pocket because it don't mean nothing no more.
System get triggered? How do we move into the Mark Carney-ism?
Well, I think they sort of give it away when they say that this is the new Bretton Woods movement that needs to be seized. So Bretton Woods was what came out of World War II, essentially, and was the creation of a new financial governance system after World War II. And this is essentially an effort to create a new financial governance system that was announced well before any sort of crisis like that, but it's probably going to need a crisis of that level to be implemented and to convince people to onboard at scale. And if you subscribe to the theory that all wars are bankers' wars, which there is plenty of evidence to support that, I would say, that seems to suggest that perhaps, this is the it's going to be a problem reaction solution type of situation where they've already made the solution.
Exactly. So if you notice, even on the American dollar, right? Since we're talking about the American currency, what does it say? A new conceptuous, right? Means chaos out of order. So that's basically what they bank on. Sorry to play on words right there, no pun intended. Chaos out of order is what they pretty much intend on happening. Chaos out of order means we're going to start a problem and we're also going to have the solution to the problem. But that problem is going to affect all of you to where you have to look to us for that solution. We already had the solution, but we're causing a problem for you to where you have to look to us for the solution. So being that we're causing that problem and you have to look to us for the solution, here is that solution. You either take it or fucking leave it. That is what they're talking about here. Basically, she's saying that they're going to start a war, as I said before, it's either the Civil War or the World War III, right? They're going to have one of those things or another event. Remember, we talked about Project Bluebeam. Imagine this, right? Because this is another thing they had with Project Bluebeam. The goal of Project Bluebeam is not necessarily to make people believe that they're being left behind. The main goal of Project Bluebeam is what she is talking about right here, to where people have no choice but to comply and get that microchip in the back. You know why? Because they're telling you that there are aliens out there, and being that give you a perfect example, right? You know how we talked about even the robots. What do you always see when you go to a check on something, right? It says, "Am I a robot?" And you have to check that bullshit ass box that says, I'm not a robot. I'm a human," right? That's exactly what we're headed towards. There's literally going to be a situation where the robot is trying to check in, and it's that's to say, "Oh shit, I'm a robot. I'm not an actual human." That type of thing. Okay, we're pretty much headed to where they are trying to just be it's under one big ass dictatorship, and we don't have any control over what we are actually doing. That is what this is coming down to. They want it to be where we look for them for every single thing. That is what she is getting at right here. And if you don't have that Neuralink chip, I should say, you don't have that chip, basically, you don't exist. You don't have any currency. You can't do anything with it. And we're going to make a problem so that you don't have any choice but to comply and go with what we are offering you.
Developed what they want to be the new financial governance system after this new Bretton Woods moment. They just need some sort of
Hey, Teresa,
big
what's goody?
event on the scale of World War II or some large event that's equally disruptive in order to be like, all right, now it's time for a new financial governance system after this big event like they did after World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the thing that's so interesting about this like debt bubble exploding is that when you know that the debt bubble is going to explode and you want to explode it into the new system, the way that you sort of trigger that into the system that you want to get the masses to go with you is you actually want to have the most debt obligations on the record, like on the board, so that when the system pops, they'll all pop. When the debt bubble pops, every debt bubble will pop. It will be everything all at once. It won't just be like, oh, Japan's fine, the U.S. is like, it won't work like that. Everything will pop at once. So in this weird way, you actually want to create as much debt as possible right before the pin bursts the bubble, and then you can offer this, hey, we'll service your debt 1-to-1 if you come join this new universal tokenized ledger. Just sign up here, do a selfie of your face, and give us your biometrics, and then here you are.
The solution has been created, and now all the global elites need is a nice little crisis to tie it all off. Only this won't be a nice crisis. It will be the complete collapse of the entire global financial system. A large percentage of the global population, honest everyday workers, fathers, mothers, and people with aging parents and relatives will be completely devastated, while the 1% of the 1% gain everything. Whitney believes the crisis will be on the same scale as, if not worse, than the economic devastation of the Second World War. After the crisis ends, central and commercial banks will conveniently and proudly present digital currencies, urging people to get on the system to make up for everything they lost during the collapse. However, they will only get a fraction of what was lost. Plus, they will be signing away all their privacy and other rights to the global elites. Imagine a world where you can't buy more meat because all your transactions are strictly monitored, and it's been decided that you've eaten more than your allotted portion of meat during the given period. You go to your local grocery store, pick up the goods, and as the attendant or automated system tries to ring up your order, they get a notification saying you cannot purchase more meat or else the planet dies. This is the future Whitney and Mark are warning us about.
Now that is just completely absurd. So, yeah, that would be crazy. So you go there and go to buy a piece of steak or something like that, or you go to buy a pack of chicken for the night to feed the family. You know what I'm saying? You down in your last little $10. You went to go buy a pack of chicken for your kids or whatnot, and they saying, "Yo, you can't buy this right now. We're sorry. This is gonna feed someone else. You bought too much chicken for the week. You bought too much chicken for the week. No, actually, you bought too much chicken for the month. So you're at an actual consumption limit, and we have to limit on what you can actually buy as far as certain items that will actually be out of stock soon." What? Excuse me? It's little things like that as far as this dictatorship that people are asking for when they're saying, "Yo, we gonna vote Trump." This is the little shit that y'all or pretty much antagonizing. But even voting Trump, even voting Biden, it's still the lesser of two evils. It's still the lesser of two evils. I will always say that, regardless of who you vote for. Vote for who you want to vote for. Let me say that first and foremost. Vote for who you want to vote for. But I want you to always be aware of who you're voting for. Let me always say that too. Be aware of who you're voting for. And be aware of the people that are invested in them. That's why we are talking about BlackRock.
What's worse, it does not stop there. Larry Fink and others want to tokenize everything, including the natural world. Here are more clips from the video.
Well, it seems like in Larry Fink's case in particular, there's a goal, a big ambition there to develop new asset classes that can be used to basically fuel their existing business model and perpetuate it for millennia forward. Mm-hmm. So one of these that I've been writing about for a few years is the whole idea of natural assets, what they call nature's economy. And one of the groups that has been sort of propelling this forward, at least one of the earlier groups, the Intrinsic Exchange Group, which is a product of the Rockefeller Foundation and the multilateral development banking system, has a graphic on their website called The Opportunity, and they show there the existing amount of assets in the world economy, and then show what if we unlock natural assets, how nature's economy, it's like 6 times the amount of existing assets in the economy today. And so as an asset manager, BlackRock being able to unlock and take control of as many natural assets as possible that aren't currently part of the financial system is obviously a way for them to perpetuate what they do and deepen and expand their control over not just people in the existing financial system, but really over the natural world as well, and essentially turn everything alive into a tradable Wall Street financial product. And the goal, as Fink has stated, is to have all of this on a universal ledger, on blockchain presumably, and have it be trackable and surveillable, which is interesting if you look at it through the context of risk management, which is something that Larry Fink is very open as having been one of the guiding lights of his whole career. And so by having it all surveillable and automated in a sense, he's able to have his risk management AI thing, Aladdin, sort of exercise control over it in unprecedented ways, I think, for their benefit. And then, of course, a lot of what's happening now as we're moving into this new financial governance system is the push to change all of the infrastructure towards this, quote unquote, green a green model, I guess, or decarbonization, right? Which is, of course, interface with the global carbon market, but not necessarily so, like it doesn't have to be. But the push is obviously to create a bunch of new infrastructure all over the world, and BlackRock is positioning themselves to be one of the key players in that space. They acquired, I think they're called GIP, one of the biggest infrastructure, developers in the world. And I think one of their top guys at Davos just a few months ago was talking about how they're betting really big on infrastructure going forward, and it's going to be one of the biggest investment opportunities of the next several decades, actually. So I think they're quite ambitious, and if people aren't aware of this, I'm sure they'll get away with it, but we'll see. One of the things too about the natural asset thing, at least as far as the natural asset corporation model is concerned, is that you literally just go into a forest or you go to a river or lake and you identify the natural asset, and then at no cost to you, just after identifying it, you issue shares in the natural asset, a lake, a forest, whatever, and then you sell those shares to sovereign wealth funds, asset managers, whatever, and then you have an IPO and generate all this money. I mean, it's literally just pointing out something outside and being like, this is mine, I'm going to fractionalize it and sell it to people, and you're producing money in like, out of thin air.
Right.
Pretty much. And what she's necessarily getting at is how much BlackRock is able to actually own. So let's look at this real quick, right? Quick little fun fact for you. So as of the first quarter of this year, 2024, BlackRock, the world's largest asset management company, had around $10.5 trillion in assets under management. This includes a wide range of assets such as equity, fixed income, multi-assets, alternatives, cash management, and advisory. BlackRock has more than doubled since 2016, and the company manages a quarter of the world's money. You hear that right there? Manages a quarter of the world's money. BlackRock also owns several investment management and technology platforms in some companies, including Time Warner, Comcast, Disney, News Corp, Fox, CBS, CNN, and State Street, just to name a few. BlackRock's top holdings include Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia. Huge stock right there. Nvidia right now, they just keep on going up. I think they just doubled recently. I think they just hit 1,000 mark of Nvidia. Amazon and Meta. Meta, you know who that is, right? Facebook, Instagram, all your socials. As of January 2024, BlackRock owns 6.7% of Disney. Disney. They own shares Apple, 6.7% of Apple. World's largest investment manager. Okay? Just so you guys understand what we are talking about here. This is the huge, one of the big wigs. If you really want to follow the money, you look no further than the investments of where this BlackRock is going. Okay? Now, yeah, a whole quarter. Whole quarter, Todd. A whole damn quarter of the world. Now, ironically, shout out to O'Keefe, shout out to Jay O'Keefe. They recently got caught. One of their recruiters had gotten caught recently in talking about some things that he should not have. So, we're going to go to the first clip.
Hey there. Is this seat taken?
Someone's gonna come back, but what's up?
Well, that person actually works for me.
Live from the Bronx.
So what actually happened was this gentleman here had set up the recruiter on an actual date. And the date was able to get a lot of information at him. So before we watched him actually catching him in the act, we're going to watch the date.
They don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it. All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians. You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. I work for a company called BlackRock.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at BlackRock.
Let me tell you, it's not who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet.
It's not the president. It's who's controlling the wallet of the president. Didn't I just say, if you want to know who's doing the fuck what, you follow what? You follow the damn money.
So it's
And who's that?
the hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates. Obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. I can give you 500K right now, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I didn't do.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what he specifically said? You can literally buy.
We have the system in place. First, there's the senators. And
First, there are the senators. They're cheap. If you got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. You hear that shit? If you got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. They put Ghislaine Maxwell's photo in Stranger Things season 2, episode 11. So they definitely use entertainment. Yes, that's predictive programming right there. That's predictive programming. What they do with TV shows. So, and notice how we even saw how they own Time Warner, all the channels, all the cable companies, they own all that shit. So of course, yes, they're gonna put that subliminal messaging right in front of you, just so you just so you have that image in your head, of course. But buying politicians.
This guy's you got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. I can give you 500.
You can buy a senator with 10 grand, 500,000 right now. He'll just give away.
Right now, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I didn't do this. It's done.
Does like everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still right.
They're in my pocket at this point.
Here's Serge Varley on how good war is for BlackRock's business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah, I mean, I do have thoughts.
What are they?
Ukraine is good for business. You know, right? I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. Ukrainian economy.
You hear what he just said? Piece of shit. Basically, somebody get blown up over there, the price of wheat goes up. Well, that's a huge gain for us. Fucking disgusting bastards, yo. So war is pretty much the, if you want to say, war is pretty much the investment for them. They're banking on some bullshit, some big event happening. As the other girl said, pretty much, right? How they're going to introduce the new cryptocurrency is the chaos out of order. So they pretty much bank on war happening and big things like that happening so that they can really make their money. Yeah, he just said Ukraine is good business for him. The Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. So when shit get blown up over there, wheat go up.
It's tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. Prices of bread, literally everything it goes up and down. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real fucking good for business.
War is real fucking good for business. You hear that? Yeah, for the rich and powerful, that's the wild part. War has always been good for business. That's why the UN is around, right? That's why they have to figure out, yo, all right, you fighting such and such for the next couple of months. Man, why I gotta always fight such and such? That's just starting to sound like a high school fucking fight club meeting. Man, why I gotta go fight China tomorrow? Damn it. Russia, why don't you go fight China tomorrow? What the hell? Well, it's actually gonna, raise up the cost of this since China is, everything gets made in China. So we kind of need you guys to actually go fight them. That way such and such can go up. And the price of this being made in China can go down. We do need to, Jason needs to make a better trade. He's been slacking on his trades. So we do need you to cause this type of war so he can get a little bit better training in his trades. Man, fuck this shit.
It's exciting when goes wrong, right? BlackRock manages 20 trillion. It's incomprehensible numbers.
BlackRock Serge Varley.
Now, what did we just Google, right? That BlackRock had what? 10.5 trillion.
It's exciting when goes wrong, right?
It's exciting when shit goes wrong. This thing is disgusting. BlackRock manages $20 trillion in incomprehensible numbers. So even though we're Googling $10.5 trillion, that's just what they want to tell us. Man just said right here, they manage over $20 trillion in assets. So pretty much they're one of the 4 pillars of the goddamn government in the world.
BlackRock manages 20 trillion. It's incomprehensible numbers.
BlackRock Serge Varley says all of this is above a normal person's understanding.
You're like an undercover reporter. I don't know. Normal people don't give a shit. This is beyond them.
And that's the unfortunate truth right there, what he just said. You're just a normal reporter. You're just a normal undercover reporter. It doesn't even matter what I'm telling you right now. Regular people don't even give a shit. That's the fucked up thing about that. Normal people do not give a shit about what he is saying in that people getting blown up, and what I talked about when somebody said, was I anti-Trump? And I said, no, I'm not anti-Trump, I'm anti-policy. I'm anti them babies and whatnot getting blown up over there in Palestine. When I said I'm anti that, it's motherfuckers like this that's not anti that. They bank on shit like this. That's the fucked up part about this, is that no one actually cares about what he's saying, that war is good for business and people getting blown up, people getting killed and whatnot for money is good for business. And the world don't give a fuck about what he's saying.
The whole thing of like domination from a concept is it's so interesting.
Hi, I'm James O'Keefe with OMG News. Here we are with our latest story, this time on BlackRock, one of the world's leading asset and investment managers, which owns significant shares of companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Anheuser-Busch, Meta, Target, Procter & Gamble, Comcast, CNN, Fox, and yes, Pfizer, just to name a few. At OMG, we do not shy away from exposing powerful companies, and we're not afraid of powerful people. So we decided to take a look for ourselves at the influence BlackRock has on our politics and the influence they have on our culture. So to do that, what better place to start a hidden camera investigation than into a self-described gatekeeper at BlackRock?
Like, you're kind of like a fucking gatekeeper at BlackRock.
Yeah, I am. I decide people's fates. Every fucking day, I literally decide how somebody's life is going to be shaped.
That's so powerful. I love it.
Yeah, it's I don't know, the whole thing of like domination from a concept is it's so interesting.
Introducing Serge Varley, whose LinkedIn says he's worked for Morgan Stanley, Citadel, and now as a recruiter at BlackRock.
I work for a company called BlackRock. I'm not actually a finance guy. I know what happens because I'm recruiting people who do these things. I'm the person who headhunts people from other firms. So I would approach you and be like, hey, this is a good reason why you should come work for us.
Serge tells us who really runs the world, how they do it, and just how much it costs to buy people, like politicians.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's the
And who's that?
the hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates.
How so?
All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians.
How do they run the world?
You acquire stuff. You diversify, you acquire, you keep acquiring, you spend whatever you make in acquiring more. And at a certain point, your risk level is super low. Like, imagine you've invested in like 10 different industries, from food to drinks to like technology, right? One of them fails, it doesn't matter. You have 9 others to back you up. Risk management is inherently in just about everything. And in the finance space, it's all about it's all about the money you make. You don't let it sit. You keep using it over and over, and it
Reinvest.
Yeah, and it exponential growth.
And then once you just own a little bit of everything, is that where the control?
Yeah, you own a little bit of everything, and that little bit of everything gives you so much money on a yearly basis that you can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. Obviously, we have this system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still right.
They're in my pocket at this point. I can give you 500K right now, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what needs to be done.
And remember when I said that too about the lesser of two evils with the election? D just said it right there. It doesn't even matter who the fuck wins. They're both in the pocket. They're both in the pocket. Both of them. So even that the whole thing about, presidents are puppets, that's really why they're saying presidents are puppets. So if we're talking about who are the powers that be, who are the elites, when DJ Khaled's talking about the theys and, the Illuminatis and all that other shit, this is who we're talking about. This is who we are talking about. This is what this particular part is about tonight. If you want to talk about who runs the fuck what at the end of the day? This is one of those names that runs a good quarter. You heard it. A quarter of the entire fucking world's assets. You want to know who's getting shit done and calling the shots, really? Look no fucking further than BlackRock. You just heard this man say, yo, senators are the cheapest shit in the world. To say senators are cheap like they just some regular $20 sneakers at a Payless, that just tells you how much power that this fucking BlackRock has.
Yeah, of course.
And
Why not?
does like everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
The BlackRock recruiter also tells us about how the U.S. government relies on BlackRock for their economic simulation computational power.
Economic simulation. They need to understand the impact of something, right? They're gonna like raise the interest rate, for example. It's gonna.
And I'm talking about virtual reality. I'm talking about economic simulation, as in we want to look like we are in power. We want to look like we're one of the most powerful countries. We want to look like we're one of the richest companies. We really ain't. In fact, we owe every fucking body, if you really want to get down to it. The U.S. owes more than it has money.
Create this cascade of various factors that they're not sure what's going to do, basically.
And just how fucking great the Ukraine war is for business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Ukraine is good for business. You know, right? We don't want the conflict to end.
Why?
We don't want the conflict to end as a country. The longer this goes on, the weaker Russia is. I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. So what are you gonna do if you're a trading firm? The moment that news hits, within a millisecond, you're gonna pump trades into whoever the wheat suppliers are, into their stocks. Within an hour or two, that stock goes up, and then you sell, and you just made, I don't know, however many mil.
Why would a news channel promote a side in war?
Because it's also good for business too. I mean, what's news? News, right? What does news feed on? They feed on strategy, they feed on up events. That's what people like to watch. So when it happens, it's good business. More viewers. When nothing's happening, watches news. I don't watch news.
They're all pushing like the same talking point. Like you generally, when you look at news, like
it's propaganda. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right?
Serge also speaks on BlackRock-influenced news and even gave our journalists some tips.
based on everything we know now, when they say to sell, does that mean we should buy?
And so, yeah. It's like, Jim Cramer. If you do exactly the opposite of what he's advising, you actually make money.
Huh?
Yeah. It's called the inverse Cramer. They don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it.
And when Serge was asked about insider trading and if Larry Fink recently sold $100 million in BlackRock shares, here is what he said.
Larry Fink recently sold $100 million worth of BlackRock.
Wow. Damn, Larry, that's not a good sign. The people who trade and make money, they do this the moment the information is out. And that info is typically disseminated at private levels first before it hits the mainstream. If you want to invest smart, there's a tracker that tracks all politicians and where they have their stocks. Preemptively, if we think the stock price is going to tank, we're going to sell so that we sell it high, it tanks, and we buy back. And we didn't make, but we preserved preserved a few mil.
But perhaps the most remarkable and profound comment by the BlackRock recruiter is the suggestion that nobody is going to care about what he is saying here or confessing here. Because as he says, quote, normal people don't give a shit.
You're like an undercover reporter.
Really? No, don't normal people worry about this stuff?
No, normal people don't give a shit. This is beyond them.
That these types of questions my reporter asked are beyond all of you. The answer is something that you, the people, the consumers, the shareholders, couldn't possibly understand. It's been said that it's easier to fool a man than to convince him he's been fooled. There is no question that many Americans are still asleep who may not want to wake up from their necessary illusions. But we hope and believe by showing these tapes of this BlackRock gate.
That is probably the illest line ever right there. It's easier to fool a man than convince him he's fooled. That is the line of the fucking week for me. It's easier to fool a man than convince him he fooled. And that's the truth right there. That is the truth right there. He definitely was just educating the woman just as he said it right there. Like, yo, you're just some dumb reporter. The world doesn't really care about this. He damn sure did enjoy educating her. Because he looked at her like she was just some woman, unfortunately. And this is just a couple of months ago, so unfortunately he was kind of right for the simple fact that the world didn't necessarily care. Now, I'm hoping that actually changes within this year. You know, this is the year of whistleblowing and truth-telling. And thank you for that also, Blue, because I wanted to look at that as well real quick. Says Vanguard Group Inc. is the world's second largest investment company or brokerage firm, and as of April 30th this year, it offers 208 funds in the U.S. and 215 funds outside the U.S. Vanguard's portfolio value is calculated to be, what's that? Is this a trillion right here? No, we passed a trillion. Trillion right this one, right? So it's 100 million. It's okay, 5 trillion. So 5 trillion. Yeah, about $5 trillion. This is the billion right here. This is 100 million. Yeah. So $5 trillion plus cash, which is not disclosed. Some of the Vanguard's top holdings include Microsoft Corporation. They own, they own more Microsoft than BlackRock does. They own 8.9%. They own 8.4% of Apple. And Netflix, they own 8.4% as well. We just talked about Stranger Things, didn't we? I was just talking about Stranger Things. You had just mentioned Stranger Things, as a matter of fact. Vanguard funds include the Vanguard 500, which has more than $350 billion in assets. Vanguard's ownership structure ensures that its business and portfolio management decisions focus on meeting the investment needs of its investors. And as of March this year, Vanguard has $7.6 trillion in assets under management. So think about this, right? BlackRock had $10.5 trillion under management. They've got $7.6 trillion in management. They've got, when you're thinking about how much the currency is in the actual world, and then you see how much money that they're managing, you start to really smack yourself up the back side of your head and say, oh shit, if I want to know where my money going, this is where this motherfucker going. Make it second only to BlackRock, which boasted at the time they were $9 trillion, but of course right now we just saw they're $10 trillion. So headquartered in Pennsylvania, Vanguard is the largest mutual funds issuer in the world and second largest issuer of exchange traded funds. So if we're talking about BlackRock owning a quarter of the world, we're also talking about Vanguard owning the other half. Or should I say the other side of that quarter. The other 3/4 of that, the 3 and 4 of that, I should say, would be the hedge funds and the banks, as Mr. Surge said. That's the thing. People are not going to pay attention to who actually runs the world. He was very right. Now, this is James O'Keefe catching the gentleman.
Hey there. Is this seat taken?
Someone's gonna come back, but what's up?
Well, that
Pretty
person actually
flabbergasted,
works
wasn't
for
it?
me.
Live.
He's like, oh shit, someone's gonna come back. Well, that person works for me. He's like, oh shit, I've been caught. I can't believe this.
From the Bronx, this is James O'Keefe with OMG.
My name is James O'Keefe, and I'm with OMG. You work for BlackRock, is that right?
Yep, that's true.
Okay.
First of all, I don't consider me recording with you.
You don't have to. This is New York. It's a one-party
I know.
state. Right?
Yeah, but well, okay, but you asked me some questions, but
Yeah.
please don't record me right now.
I can't agree to that. I mean, you work for a very powerful institution.
Okay, then I will not talk to you.
Well, just let's take a look at what you say here. They buy politicians. Big ton of money, you say?
Like you can take this big.
He's pretty much fucked up right now. He don't know what's going on. He don't know what's going on right now, yo. He is all the way fucked up on that one. Like, I don't know why that just keeps playing in the background. But dude is caught off guard. He's caught all off guard. He's like, yo, please don't record me right now. Please don't record. He doesn't realize he's been recorded. He didn't even know he's been recorded this whole time. And then you were just saying to this girl, like, yo, you're just some dumb reporter. The average person doesn't matter. So why all of a sudden you scared now when James O'Keefe comes and says he's going to record you?
Ton of money, and then you can start to buy people.
Ukraine is good for business. War is good for business.
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? War is real good for business.
My first question is, who have you bought?
I haven't. I'm just well, to clarify, I'm like a low ladder person. I'm like a nobody. I don't want to be interviewed in any way.
Well, you've already.
I'm just a low ladder person, you know. I'm just a nobody. All of a sudden, you a nobody. Before, you was ready to give somebody $500,000 like it was nothing out of your back pocket. Now, you just a low-level employee, just a low-level recruiter that don't know nothing.
You've been interviewed. How does BlackRock control the wallet of the president?
BlackRock does not.
That's what you said. Those are your words. They came out of your mouth.
Sir, no, I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody.
But you just said you didn't say the thing that you're on video saying.
Yes, I did not say that BlackRock does this.
Yes, you did.
And who's that?
The hedge funds, BlackRock, the
I didn't say that BlackRock did this, but you're a BlackRock recruiter, you fucking idiot.
these guys run. I'm a nobody.
I'm literally a liar. You don't even know my position at this. I was trying to impress a person on a date by lying.
Right, but
Did you see my LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, we sure did. We're putting it in the video. And we're going to go after people who are bigger than you throughout BlackRock. You're just one of many.
No, I
that we're
understand.
exposing.
Yeah,
just don't touch me, okay?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm not
Please,
touching you.
you're getting
I'm
a little
trying
close into my personal
Sorry,
space.
I'm trying to get through. Yeah.
So why is it exciting, though? Why is it exciting?
It's exciting when goes wrong, right?
Tell me why war is exciting,
Right.
sir.
Have you ever been swallowed? Been swallowed by... Swallowed. That's what I thought of just now. Yes, because dude was caught. Dude is trying to get he's trying to get out of there now. He's like, shit, I done got myself into a pickle. I done got myself into some shit. Now they actually know I done said I'm a BlackRock recruiter. I tried to impress this girl and shit, and now they done caught me.
Where are you going?
I'm going there.
You're walking into the police.
You saw that the girl showed up at the end, like, I got you. There goes the girl right there that he was on the date with, basically.
Where are you going?
I'm going there.
You're walking into the police station?
Would you like to follow me?
I'll stand right here.
Follow me, dude. Walked him all the way to the precinct down the block. He knew exactly where that police station was. I tell you, he ain't had to Uber nothing. He ain't had to Google search it. He walked straight down the block and made him follow him to that police station. Now, what this idiot doesn't realize, he's not proving anything by trying to make him walk into a police station and tell the police he's getting harassed. Number one, it's a free country. Two, he's not being harassed. Three, if you were being harassed, you could have just flagged down a cop in the street. Number four, there is cameras on you, sir. Professional cameras at that. It's a whole cameraman on you. It's not like it's just it's not like it's a cell phone recorder on you right now. It's, professional cameras on your ass right now. And you can't take this heat whatsoever.
No, come on.
You want me to follow you into the police station?
Yes.
What are you going to do with the police? What are you going to say to the police?
I'm gonna ask them to make you stop following me. I have no expertise in anything.
You wasn't going to ask the police to do shit because you didn't even want the police to know who the hell you were.
You're asking me.
Okay, what is your expertise?
Just recruiting people. That's it.
And where do you work?
Okay.
Where is he? Where is he going? He's going into the police station? He literally walked from the restaurant into the police station.
Who are they going to arrest?
Maybe him. Maybe they're going to arrest him. He's handed himself into the NYPD, folks. James O'Keefe here, standing here in the Bronx, New York, at the corner of Kingsbridge Avenue and 236th Street. I'm standing outside the precinct. The BlackRock executive is inside the 50th precinct talking to the police about my presence here on the streets of New York with a microphone and cameras, asking him questions about what he said regarding the Ukraine war, buying politicians, recruiting people to work at BlackRock, an institution that manages $10-20 trillion. In his words, I wanted to ask him what he meant by that. He told me that he's a low-level guy, that he just recruits people at BlackRock. He also denied saying the things that he said. He denied using the words that he used, suggested I was taking him out of context. I asked him what he meant by that. When he walked into the police station, the police kind of gave their shoulders a shrug, like, oh, it's journalists? Live from the Bronx. This is James O'Keefe with OMG.
Shout out to the homie James O'Keefe, yo. Shout out to the homie James O'Keefe. And I hope he does catch more people like him. I hope he does go after Vanguard and a lot of the other people, like he just said. He's going to catch a lot of the big wigs like this. Because it has to be done. We have to know who these fucking people are, and we have to know their actual agendas. It can't just be hearsay and us looking up information and things like that. We literally got a recruiter saying what they actually fucking do here. So, needless to say, we know now for sure who is the real big wigs that we need to be following. So if we see, like he just said, Diddy, for example, right? Something happening with Diddy, it is really to distract what they are trying to do with a piece of money somewhere else within a company that might be involved with Diddy. Yes, they purchase children as well. Again, this is one of the main investors of that fucking all-white party, as we just saw. Fanatics with the $27 billion when they added BlackRock. This is one of the investors of the all-white party, y'all. One of the main people that would put money in Diddy's pocket when he was popping for these allegations and shit like that. This is who we need to be paying attention to at the end of the day. BlackRock is fully exposed. And I mean fully exposed at this point. This is, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody is doing their due diligences to say, okay, I need to know who BlackRock actually is. because
This
they are almost definitely, they got a hand in your pocket right now. You don't even know it. Where's your tax dollars going? It's going right into their hands. That's another thing too. For them to be funders of Jeffrey Epstein should tell you a lot. For them to be yes, definitely worshipers of Satan, but for them to be so invested in them and Vanguard amongst others, for them to have their hands in so much shit, it truly makes you wonder. It truly makes you wonder, how did they get to their positions of power the way they did? That is my next big question. How did they obtain the power that they got? Like, who is their bloodline? Like, where they rotate around that big black cube that looks like oh, okay. Oh, no problem. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. You're talking about the synagogue. You're talking about the synagogue. I know you're talking about now. You're talking about the synagogue when everyone prays around the cube. I know you're talking about now. But yes, these companies are not just regular companies. And that's why the guy felt the need to say, yo, you're just some dumb reporter. It doesn't even matter that people are going to, hear about this information. They're not necessarily going to care. They're not necessarily going to care about the information that we're giving them.